Don't leave me hanging on. What is my era too?
That's all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are live.
Oh, hello. Oh, was nearly about to give our ages away there, weren't I?
Welcome to our evening of musical mediumship.
Yeah, oh God. Welcome to the night of flu.
Yes.
Flu has hit, yes.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody, and a very big welcome to you all for our Lyceum night this week. On a Friday night, it's a change from our Saturday nights because our wonderful guest tonight is so in demand. We had to fit the schedule in. An absolute pleasure too.
All right. Thanks, Laura.
Susan, you've got Susan Hughes on screen, but you have Susan.
My name is Susan Brothwood. My married name is Susan Hughes.
Right.
So Susan Brothwood Hughes, and I love it because when I used to go to Britain, which I still do, and people would trip over the name Brothwood and they call me Susan Brotherhood Hughes, and I used to correct them, and I went, no, I'll take that. Thanks very much, Susan Brotherhood Hughes. I just thought that's fine. Yeah, so Susan, I was actually going to put Susan the Dragon Slayer, but I thought you'd be upset.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And honestly, I'm going to be very honest. My initial advertising was Susan Brotherwood Hughes.
That's fine.
And I thought, I'm sure that's wrong. And I double checked and found out, yes, I was wrong. Anyway,
yes.
So you are speaking to us tonight from lovely Dublin, are you not?
Indeed. And Dublin is lovely and the weather's lovely today. Not that I've slept pretty much solidly for the last over 48 hours trying to wash this flu out of me.
I'm going for exactly the same here as well, my darling. So anybody
high five. We don't want to high five a flu, though, do we? High five.
Anybody watching, if we just sort of like drift off, feel free to change channels.
The brain has to click in.
Yes, definitely. No difficult questions tonight, folks. Thank you.
Oh, you can ask as many difficult questions as whether you'll get the answer. What is it? Vi Kipling used to say to me. Vi was one of my first mentors. She's from up Darlington way.
Right.
She said, oh God, see, my brain just stopped working as I started remembering.
Yeah.
No, there's no stupid questions, only stupid answers. So
yeah. My favorite saying is, "There's no oh God, it's going to be a long night, folks."
It is.
No question is stupid if you don't know the answer.
Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you know? And I say that to people. Look, just because you think, because I remember, just because you think everybody else knows it, doesn't mean they do. People seem quite confident in their knowledge, but they don't actually know what you think they know.
Yeah.
If you get my drift.
Yeah.
This is going to be a great conversation.
If you can deliver it confidently, you can get away with anything, can't you?
Well, that's it. Not with me, however, but yeah.
Yeah, nor me. We're wonderful. Anyway, moving on.
Of course.
So, Susan, could you tell me, please, over the years where we've linked up all around the globe, which has been absolutely wonderful, one of the big revelations was that in Europe, for instance, there are very little, if any, spiritualist churches, something else in England hadn't quite understood and grasped.
Yeah, it's quite a British organisation.
Yeah.
I suppose in Ireland there is only one church, and that is in Belfast, which is Northern Ireland. And some would argue not in Ireland, but it's all of Ireland, so Northern Ireland. So in Southern Ireland, there are no churches per se. There's one that may have been affiliated, but I don't know if it still is. But people open up centres of healing and things like that. So, are there SNU churches? No. Are there spaces of spirituality? Yes.
Yeah. because that's a very Celtic thing as well, isn't it? If you go through Ireland, through Scotland, and then over into Scandinavia, to Sweden, through Denmark, you've got this Celtic knot there, and spirituality is actually much more ingrained and part of the culture than it is probably further south on that. And I find that fascinating and wonderful as well.
And it would go down as far as Brittany and Normandy, that Celtic thing. Yeah. Brittany particularly,
Yeah. And that is, what is it? The Yggdrasil, the tree of life, which apparently.
Say that word again. Get you.
Yggdrasil. That's it. That's my Danish done. Anybody from Denmark on tonight, you'll be so impressed. But that is it.
All right. Good.
But that was the original instigator of the Tree of Life, and that came from a tribe out in Sweden, who went from being a very misogynist tribe to actually having priestesses within one generation. And from there, that influence spread right across. It was a fascinating story, actually.
It's wonderful.
But
I often say, as an ex-Catholic, I'm obviously a spiritualist now, but there were female popes, and priests could get married until greed came in from the Vatican saying, no, when you die, we want your land, because they were sharing it out between their families, and like you would do. So that's when the 13th century, was it 12th, 13th century, they were forbidden to marry. Greed.
And that is they say money is the root of all evil, and how true is that in many of the Orthodox religions and political parties. As we're seeing currently in the UK, it's just what is going on. But anyway, we will move on. Otherwise, we'll start a riot.
Let's not be pointing fingers, except to ourselves.
Well, that is a lovely point, because that's something I learned quite a few years ago now, and bringing things back to self. And you know what? That is such an interesting thing to do. When it's so easy, isn't it? Oh, she said that, they did that, he did that. And you actually got to say, well, what are these people bringing to me? What lesson are they bringing to me? And are they mirroring? And I've seen this many a time where somebody falls out with somebody else, and you're like, it's a mirroring thing, because everything you're saying about them is actually your quality.
Yeah, it is interesting. But that also comes with maturity as well. And I bet you're the same as myself, that we stand alone. I'm the lone wolf. I was always, anytime I tried to get into a group, I didn't quite fit. I was there and thereabouts, but we're the lone wolves. We keep pushing ahead. Not that I disregard other people's opinions. Absolutely, they're important. But if it doesn't feel right to you, it isn't right. And it's as simple as that. Yeah,
exactly. And I think we all have different levels of maturity. I do remember at school, I was always on the reports of, he's a loner, he doesn't. I couldn't stand the other kids because they would keep... Seriously. Go a
bit gentle there. Couldn't stand the other kids. I didn't blend well with the other children, maybe. Soften it.
I had nothing in common with them. A quick hello to everybody, and hello, lovely Frederick from Sweden. Eva,
hey,
good evening.
Well, I can't see anyone that's on here, so
it's a bit of a rogue gallery.
Like I was saying, our maturity comes with maturity. There's nothing we can do about it. And a number of years back, I said, do I live by this all the time? No. Do I try to, when I remember? I'm not falling out with anyone, but if they want to fall out with me, that's their choice.
Yes.
So, if people want to backbite, well, come to me and do it, and we can hammer it out. But, I tend to, I was tended to be that person who, if I heard a story about myself, I'd go to the person and I'd say, did you say that? Let me correct it for you. But again, don't fall. It's just gossip is so cruel. It's so cruel.
It is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
It is. And it's always very... oh, God.
I know. You and I both.
It's always very disheartening, isn't it? Because within our movement, one of the noticeable things, and it's not in every church or centre, but there is a sort of like a funny saying going around: if you want to meet an unspiritual person, go to your local spiritualist church.
I know, it's
because
terrible, isn't it?
you know, it's when this way of life, this understanding, this knowledge. I'm not going to call it religion or anything else because that's depersonalizing it. I have had time and time again beautiful evidence of the continuity of life. So yeah, I know we go on. I'm going to exhale over here and inhale over there and go, oh, right, okay, where are we going? But with that comes responsibilities, doesn't it? And understanding. Oh, dear.
I know, I'm sorry.
We're going to have to get the Benylin out.
Yeah, no. We're all good. Nope. All good. I got it. If I drank whiskey, I would, but let's not. I don't.
I thought sherry was your tipple.
Oh, no.
No?
Why did you think that?
I saw you on another channel.
Oh, somebody said that. No, sherry.
All right.
If there was nothing left to drink, I might.
Oh, fair enough.
Put it that way.
That was my mum's tipple, schooner of sherry.
Yes, that's an older lady. I suppose I am an older lady now, but no, it's not.
We're not older. We're mature, my darling. We're mature.
Yes, we're moving into our years.
Indeed.
But it is the maturity of people within the movement where, like we were saying, we're lone wolves. But we have our people too. We're part of a tribe. It's like, it's a lone wolf is part of a pack. It's part of that. But they all are able to go their own ways. But it come together for a collective purpose.
Yeah.
But if one of them decides to turn into a rabbit or a cat, well, okay, let's have a look at that and see how that will work here. And people don't want to change, or people want to change just to make an impact. I'm making an impact. Why make an impact on you? It's all about the self, isn't it? What is your purpose for doing that? Is that to make you feel better or somebody feel bad? You see, so if you're kind of saying, well, I'm better than you now and I'm going to become this, rather than saying I'm evolving and I feel this is a better path for me to pursue.
Yeah, very true. And I do like that mention there about lone wolf but still having the pack.
Correct,
because I found, especially in the post-COVID time, that I'm meeting people now. And we've got to be different people, haven't we? We're father, mother, sister, brother, friend, healer, whatever.
We have our roles.
Yeah, we're these people to those people. But we also need, and when we meet those people who we really resonate with them and we touch on a soul level and we can talk, it's just so liberating, the conversations that flow when you have those times.
Freedom.
Yeah, there's a couple in the room tonight who I would count on that list of just like, I can just sit and talk with them.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be anything else, just me.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your tribe then, Laurie. That's your tribe, you see.
Oh, well, bad news, Frederick. You're in my tribe. So you have to get the tattoo done.
Laurie's tribe.
But this is all part and parcel, isn't it, about spiritualism? I've been very much on the crusade over here, not arrogantly, but, just trying to bring to people a greater understanding about spiritualism, that is not all about the message, because many of our guests have agreed on the same thing, and feel free to disagree, that over the past 15, 20, 25 years, it's devolved into an endless session of message services only. And, you know, any ancillary teaching or training in the main, in the general populace, I'm moving aside from the college and the Barbanel Centre, places like that, you know, is to make you a medium. It does irritate me when I keep seeing these adverts for open circle, come and practice your mediumship. Well, when I sat in an open circle, the circle leader, if I attempted any sort of mediumship, she used to come down to me on a ton of bricks. It was like, that is not what this is for. It's to develop you. And I got that. I really got that.
I'll agree with you, but only because I advertised the other day in Open Circle.
I'm sure it's run absolutely beautifully, Susan.
But
don't hang up on me, please.
In my circles, I allow and students and anyone, you need to be your mediumship. You need to be part of that, but it's you know, this, I want to be this, I want, not my students. My students are fantastic if anyone's there, but everybody has to be this real quick. And again, I spoke to you about Vi Kipling, who was my first proper spiritual mentor. She sat in circle for 7 years, not allowed to say a word. So that teaches the discipline. And I suppose us oldies, I suppose, we remember that and we understand it. And when it all becomes quick and the depth of the understanding is not present. Yes, it's wonderful to get have a night of messages. Yes, it's lovely. But if you have 100 people there, only 10 or 12 people are going to get a message. You have a divine service, or you have something that involves prayer and philosophy. Everybody gets a message. It touches everybody. But, and there is a but, people who go to a service or go to a night of mediumship, or they don't know the difference. They don't know. They just want, so it is our fault. As the mediums or the people who want to share philosophy, it's our fault. And so what do we do? Lone wolf it again, Larry.
Indeed. One of the things that I do, probably to the point of the annoyance of many people, but tough, you can always turn me off, I don't mind, is I will use phrases like
Shirley shall.
No, not you. Evidential medium, philosophical medium, and to try to bring out more that understanding in people that mediumship is the state of being. What your mediumship operates in is something different. And to just
you're the vehicle.
You're the vehicle. Understanding. We have a question here from lovely Sue Townsend.
Oh, hi, Sue.
Hi, Susan. Do you feel philosophy could be better promoted in spiritualism and in ways which are more pertinent for the world today? Were you listening to our earlier conversation?
Absolutely. Because it's beautiful. If you really listened to proper, I want to do the rabbit ears thing, but if you really listen to somebody who's blending, as they do in their the mediumship blending for philosophy, it's beautiful. And it's going to be, and there's lovely prayers. There's lovely prayers, and bring the nice weather and save all the animals and this like that, but that person's not in it, because you can tell the difference, can't you, Laurie? You can tell the difference because the words are sharp but softer. The words, the meaning is deeper but understood by all. Do you see? So, I mean, that is really, the teachings have failed us. But have they? No, because we know it. So what is happening? So Absolutely agree, Sue. It really is very pertinent to the needs in the world now, and prayer is so important. I love prayer because it's all about positivity. It's all about moving forward. It's all about progression and healing.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
catching
that's
me
all
breaths there. I'm talking too much. I won't be able to talk for a week. My husband to be delighted.
right. I'll send the invoice. Um, but it's true, and thank you, Sue, for bringing that up. That is really good. I love the philosophical side of the service. I just immerse myself in it, and also listening to people and the methods they use to deliver as well. Because we stream our services live for people to view at home only. We've got this huge library now of many speakers, and you can
Wonderful.
just pick up on just some of the little nuances they use, and you just think, God, yeah, that really works, because at the end of the day, all right, it is wonderful to provide that evidence. It is very uplifting, and I know when we do that message and that nugget comes out, and it's like
That
shoot
gem,
doors. That's
yes.
it. All that aside, our job in the churches and centres is to deliver hope to people coming in our doors. And, we have this miracle. Every message that is skillfully woven and brought about by that wonderful union between the two states of consciousness, each and every one is a miracle. What greater truth is there than we do not die, and all that entails? And through that state of being as well, like Susan says there, more pertinent for the world today. Indeed, I always think,
the world moves on.
yeah.
But do you know the other thing that was said to me was that the audience. Oh, sorry, I was just getting my brain fell out there. I had to bring it back in. That's the flu brain again.
Yeah.
So, the congregation felt they were being preached at, as opposed to this is how hope can be. This is how this is what we can aim for. This is what we can pray for. Not you're a terrible person that you didn't do that. So and I think that was another failure. Yeah.
And that's very interesting. You can see our church behind me, and I've got the lectern up today for the medium on Sunday. When I work now, I found myself not wanting lecterns in the way. I found myself I want to be talking with the congregation. I don't want any physical barriers around me. Because, we are all being prompted. There is so much need. And we all, through our various states of mediumship, are being helped and prompted by spirit, to work differently, to reach out in other ways, to be more open and supportive of each other, because that's what we want, isn't it? We can't have this us and them. Oh, well, I'm a medium, so my guides are higher than your guides, because I've heard that.
Yeah, I know. No. I don't go for any of that. We're all equal. We've different experiences. We're all equal, and some people are better at some things than others.
Yeah,
it doesn't make them better than you, know. And if it's something that you want to aspire to, well, go find out how they got there and work it, rather than try strip it from people.
Yeah, I'm a good cook and a lousy housekeeper. It's fine. Absolutely fine.
Thank you for sharing.
That's okay.
Sorry. Do you want me to tell you something now? I'm just blooming brilliant at everything.
Well, of course you are, my darling.
You think I'm going to say online what I'm not great at, I suppose. But you see, that's okay. But that's okay. Like, I'm a really good psychic. I can tell you that. But can I read tea leaves? No. Just no. Read anything else. Just no. So you see, doesn't stop you or prevent you or me from being who I am. I just acknowledge, well, doesn't work for me, but all the other stuff does.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I think, again, another side effect of the pandemic and being locked away is our psychic senses opened up more, because we spent a lot more time going inwards and reflection on how we were living our life, and you've seen this exodus out of the cities now, because people are just going, actually, I was just doing this because that's what everybody did, and now I can work in the middle of the countryside. So, but I found,
something big had to come to change it, which it did.
Yeah,
because that was a generational thing. And it's something. It's a big thing to change generational habits.
Yeah.
So is it a good thing? Absolutely not. The pandemic, absolutely not. But has good things come of it? Yes, it has.
Well, wherever our adversities lies, that's where we can find our strengths. Because otherwise, we're not going to find those strengths. So again, like you, I do not condone. I'm not saying, hey, bring on another pandemic by any means. It was an awful, terrible time. The repercussions are going to go on for generations. So many people lost to it. So absolutely awful. However, in that darkness, our light started to shine that little bit brighter.
Yeah. People did living reviews of their life. So they were given that opportunity. Again, it would have been nicer if something nice had happened to bring it around. But we were forced to really review. Yeah.
Something I noticed in between the two lockdowns we had in Britain here, where people were going out more, and I've never seen so many people holding hands. And that was really noticeable. And I just thought, that is very interesting. That's a very interesting manifestation there. Because that value, what would I do if I was suddenly on my own? Or what would they do if they were suddenly on their own and I was no longer here? So it really, it brought out a lot.
The value.
And we talk about generations, brings in Julie Caswell. What do you think the generation before us think of our generation and how we do spiritualism, and indeed the generation before them? Have you got a cold as well, Julie, or are you just on the stout tonight or something? I think Julie's...
I get it. I do get it. I'm Irish. I see things. Our language is backwards. We go backwards. So really what Julie is asking a really great question is about the so our fathers, mothers generation, the spiritualists. What are they thinking of us here? And so back when spiritualism became a real thing, what are they thinking of us now? The fast life, but life has got fast. We have cars, we have lights. We don't sit encircled, by the embers of a fire. Although this is what we try to do with the red light. People don't have the time